Oh,
There you go.
nice.
Right. So shall I erase that and draw it again?
Yeah, I think it will be
All right.
nice because then I can follow. I mean, I would definitely follow your drawings and explanations.
All right. So yeah, the increase in interest rate we got, right? Increase in interest rate, was it?
Yes.
So the first thing that happens when the interest rate increases is that the price path becomes steeper. So we cannot influence the interest rate. The only thing we can adjust and influence is this price P0, but we started with a situation when we wouldn't do that. So we leave P0 where it is right now and just look what happens when the interest rate increases. So the price path becomes steeper, like that.
Yeah.
And what follows is that if we go down here, so at this point here, the backstop price is reached, and so demand goes to 0. And this happens faster than in the original. We can see that when we draw this. So it happens here in T, maybe this, and this happens earlier, right? So now what does this mean for our resource stock? We can see, because here at this point we didn't adjust P0, so initial demand up here stays the same, right? So, oh no. So demand in T0 so today in this period is here, this, and demand starts there, but ends earlier because the price path is steeper, and so this demand stops here. In every so you can see that in every period after P0, demand is higher than under the original setting without increased interest rate. And this blue triangle is total extraction under this price path, and you can see that this blue triangle is smaller than the orange one, and so this means when the backstop price is reached and demand goes to 0, then there's still something left of the resource. So what do we do? As an adjustment, we lower our initial price P0, but the slope stays the same. So this should be like parallel, just a shift, right? So we start with this new P0, and as we can see, demand today in T0 is now higher, right? Demand is there is more. R is the units extracted. There are more units extracted at this lower price, obviously. So and the same time, the backstop price is here reached later than if we wouldn't adjust P0, but still earlier than without an increase in the interest rate. And so we come out here. And now we can draw the new triangle. So, and now this green triangle should be of equal size as the original orange one. Obviously it's not, but should be, and it is sufficient for the exam, I think. So P0 is adjusted in order to that the resource that the resource is depleted when the backstop price is reached. This is the most important thing, that the resource is depleted when the backstop price is reached. This is the definition of efficient extraction in this hoteling model. Yeah.
And the depletion before a perfect substitution, right? Perfect substitute.
Yes. So
okay, and what about the fall on the backstop price?
All of the backstop price. Yeah.
Yeah, you also have that, right?
Okay.
I don't think he is approaching this directly in the exercise sheet, but it would also be nice to talk about it.
Yeah, I think the fall in the backstop price is not an easy example, fortunately. Maybe I will.
It's not, you said.
No, it is the second most difficult one. I don't know how many we have. I think it is 4, right? I don't remember.
5.
5 is all right. So let me have a look at it. So maybe one sentence to the interest rate. Obviously, if the interest rate goes down, it is the other way around, right? So the price path becomes flatter, and by that the resource is used up before the backstop price is reached. And so we have to adjust P0 upwards. So we have to increase P0 so that that less is extracted today. And so the resource again is used up when the backstop price is reached. This would be the opposite of this.
Yep.
Yeah, example. Backstop price, right? All right. Yeah, let me try that. I think I got it, but it is still difficult. So what does it mean for our demand that the backstop price drops? So in our example, we had that it, oh no, I take blue again. Oh no, I take the black one. So the backstop price drops. So the backstop price was up here. Now it is here. And what does this mean? This demand curve here stays the same exactly like before, but then jumps to 0 at this point, right? So what does this mean in our original if we don't so yeah, obviously it is here. Oh, no. So I think I guess they should meet somewhere here.
Yep.
But they obviously don't, but they should. This this should meet here. It's not accurate, but this should meet here in this point. And now what we got here is that this black black area here, this is not demanded. Oh, obviously this too. So because if the price path here, if the price has reached this price here, this demand drops to 0. And so this black area is not demanded. And this again means that we only demand this orange area, what is still orange, if we don't adjust our price or our price P0, only this what is now still orange is demanded. And so this obviously means that if the new lower backstop price is reached, there's some resource left. When this new backstop price, there's some resource left, and this is inefficient again. So we have again to adjust our initial price P0, and because the backstop price is lower now, we have to manage that more is demanded earlier. So today and in the next period. So we obviously lower our initial price. So now more is demanded today.
So basically the response is similar. So the fall in the backstop price, you would also decrease your initial price to attend.
Yes. Yes. And this backstop price is still the same. So this goes up to here. And yeah, it is very important to keep in mind that you cannot change the price path. you can only change your initial price P0. The price path or the growth rate of that price is fixed by the interest rate. You cannot change the interest rate. You change P0. And yeah, it is, I don't know, maybe here somewhere. And again, up to here. Yeah, I think it's like that. So this new blue triangle is again, should be of the same size as the orange one, right? This is again, should be equal. So I think this would be drop in the backstop price. I hope I did it right. If not, if I find out that I did it wrong, I will contact you and tell you, and maybe.
Just a second.
But in any case, the fall on the
Yeah,
backstop price is just a bonus.
I think there is a mistake.
All right, yeah, that might be. I'm not that sure about this, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is not a very easy example. We should have covered it towards the end. But basically, the new time, T star, has to be earlier, you know?
The new, what has to be earlier?
The new time, T star.
When the resource is used up, or what do you mean?
Yeah, the new one with the new price, the lower price.
Obviously, yeah, well, I see that now, what you mean. Oh no.
Where did you realize it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I see. I see. Oh no, that's very difficult to draw.
Yeah, I know.
It is very difficult to draw. So what you mean, I know what you mean. I see this now in our example. We have this curve it must, so we don't change our interest rate. So we just shift it, right? So the slope should be the same, but it somehow manages to be here so that this new time is earlier, but this is quite difficult to draw. But it is a good point, and we should somehow. And I'm not sure if it has to be this way. If the time actually must be early, yeah, but yeah, maybe.
And we could also ask him.
Yeah, we can do that tomorrow. All right. So it has, so what you say is this, and then we come out here at this T, which would be smaller than the original. No, yes, which would be smaller than the original T. Yeah.
Yeah.
So originally depletion is here after this T, and now we get this blue T. And obviously this changes our blue triangle here a little, makes it, we can do this quickly. And yeah. But I think about it till tomorrow, and maybe I will ask this. Yeah, it's something like that. So this is then the new triangle. Yeah, and those here that should be parallel, those price paths, is not accurate, but it isn't accurate in the drawing from the book.
Yeah.
It's not.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is a good question. I think about that. If it really has to be shorter, if the time till full depletion needs to be shorter, or could also be longer, like I drew it first. I don't know that.
Mhm.
Maybe we can think about it and ask them tomorrow. Yeah, I found this example rather difficult.
Yeah.
Also because you have this black area here that is not demanded for, right?
Yeah.
In this area, there's no demand, so you have to subtract it. Yes. Any questions?
No.
So the time basically decreases
Yeah.
because what's the reason? I think that I didn't get this point, even though it's very well noted.
Yeah, this is the I was just drawing and thought my drawing was fine and that would be a longer time. So I don't know if the time has to be shorter or if it could also be a little longer. I will think about that. But if you adjust your price in P0 downwards, there's always this potential that you end up earlier because you demand more today. If you adjust your price P0 today, if you adjust it downwards, so people have to pay less for the resource, so they demand more, so they extract more, and then you end up depleting the resource earlier. But obviously, if the backstop price also falls, this might even end up at the same depletion time as before, or even take longer. I don't know. And this is I think a very good question. I will ask tomorrow.
Yeah, nice. Great. Yeah, in any case, I think he never asked about this in the exams, as far as I could see.
I don't
And
know if this is a good indicator,
yeah,
or if it might even be that
yeah,
this time he will.
yeah, that's why I mentioned it, and also because it was not in the exercise sheets. And then we could also ask, like, to what extent should we?
But it was in the exercise sheet, right?
The fall and the backstop price, it wasn't. It was only about the interest rate, wasn't it?
No, I think it was.
Let me check it out again.
At least it is. I am on slide 23. At least it is in the lecture slide.
No, yeah, in the lecture slide it is.
All right.
But on the exercise sheet, it's just Hotelling model of optimal, yeah. See lecture chart or charts, see supporting literature. Yeah, well, actually, it can be, yeah. So.
All right.
All right. Next example. What is the next?
Increasing demand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Increasing demand.
So, right. So maybe we just start by imagining what does it mean, increasing demand. It means that at any price, there is demanded more, right? But in our example, we leave the backstop price is an extra point, is an extra variable. So what we do when we increase demand, we start again at the backstop price, yeah. But at any price there is demanded more. I don't know if I think this is too big of a no, not shift, but maybe this. So now when you take, for example, our old price peer zero, oh no, it doesn't work, still doesn't work. Moment. So this works. So this is a increase in demand, and you can see this in our initial price P0. At this price, there was this amount demanded here, R0. So in today, in period 0, at this price P0 here, there was this R0 demand. And now at the, what happened now? Came all back. So, and now with this increase in demand, erase that. Yeah. Now with this increase in demand, there is more R demanded at that same price P0. So we get to this R0 star or dash or something like that. So, but yet again, we don't change our or the backstop price isn't changed, and our interest rate isn't changed. So our slope of the price path stays the same, and so this stays, and what do we get? A moment. Yeah, I think we can draw it. Yeah, I think we can, like, because of this increase in demand, if we wouldn't change our initial price P0, we need to draw a triangle, a new triangle of about the same size as the orange one. I think it would be about that. So this would be our new triangle under the same price path, but increased demand. And what does this mean? You can see this here. this means that so this blue triangle means that because it is of equal size as the orange one, it means that our resource is depleted. Yeah. So it is depleted before the backstop price is reached. We can see this here because the backstop price is up here, and the demand, the resource is depleted when the price has reached that level. So it is too early, and this is inefficient. All right. So basically, the what can you say? The demand, the resource is used up before substitution technology is profitable. Yeah, and maybe you can interpret it this way.
With increased demand.
Under this increased demand, right? Because you see here, there is still demand under this price where the resource is used up.
Yeah. So considering the optimal depletion and increasing demand would actually be problematic.
Yes, because the resource is depleted before the backstop price is reached. Yeah. And this is inefficient. You always want to match the time when the resource is depleted with the reaching of the backstop price. And this is not happening here. So what would be our response?
Fall in the fall in the price.
Fall in the price. What happens when you decrease the price?
Yeah, it increases demand, so we'll be increasing the price.
We are increasing the price, right?
So I said it wrong. Sorry.
Oh, everything is fine. So we increase our P0, maybe this, and now we get less demand today than under our original price path and increased demand. And now we are maybe here. Oh no, this wouldn't work.
Yeah.
What do we need? We need a little more. So we would imagine we are somewhere here, right? This is about the point where they both meet. And here we end up earlier than under our very initial situation with no increase in demand. And we would end up here, and then we would end up here, and then it would be here. Right, it's correct. So now you could compare it to either one of the old triangles, because those three are all of the same size. The orange one, the new green one, and the old the middle old blue one are all of the same size. This means again that we reach the old backstop price that hasn't changed under the new demand at exactly that point in time when the resource is depleted. So we increase our P0, our price today, as an adjustment to the increased demand, because the increased demand leads to more extraction today and in the in the early periods. So the resource is used up earlier, and as a reaction, as an adjustment, we increase our price P0 so that less is demanded today. All right?
Yep.
Fine. So next example, question?
All right. Increase in resource stock.
Yeah. Resource stock increase.
That one is easy.
Yeah.
We can
I
do.
just, how do I draw it? I think it is, yeah, I know. So resource stock is increased just means that this orange triangle becomes greater,
Expand.
right? Yes. So if we again don't change our initial price P0 and we know the interest rate stays the same because we always only change one parameter at a time. This is what we do in this model all the time. This means an increase in the, no, it's difficult to, I hope I can do it. Yeah. I think this is, so today is exactly the same amount extracted, but our stock becomes greater. Yeah. So what we see here, our price path just for the moment stays the same. So the backstop price is again here. And this means that we end up extracting at here, at this T, at the original T. But we see here by this new blue, additional blue area, that our resource stock grew. So when the backstop price is reached, there's still something left of the resource. And this is again not efficient. We want to find out about our efficient extractor. So what would be a good adjustment?
I'm sorry. I think you can.
Is it wrong?
I think point R0 has
Yeah.
to move to the left a few units to make R star, and that's how it depends.
Where is it? Is it in the lecture slides?
Yeah, it's increasing resource stock.
Yeah, and it's per month as well. Per month draws it differently as well.
Yeah. Yeah. What we see in there is a point we will get to.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
So, but I see the. I hope I can draw it. We will see about that. But it is what is important for me is that you see that we don't change the backstop price, and we don't change our price path. So we end up again here, and here at this point in time stops extraction, right? But this new area is bigger. There's added up, you add up to the old orange triangle. You add up this blue area. So the point, if we don't adjust P0, we reach the backstop price again at a point in time where there's still resource left.
Mm-hmm.
So what would be a correct adjustment to that?
Decrease price.
Decrease price.
Decrease price. All right. Yeah. Correct, because there's now more resource, so we increase our demand, and to do that we decrease the price, because if the price is lower, more is demand. So again, we decrease our P0, and so in time T0 there's more demanded, and oh no. And this is what I meant by problematic to draw. Oh no, it's too wide. Maybe I can land somewhere in between. So now this green new triangle should be of equal size as the orange plus the blue area, right? And I think this is about where we end up. And if you compare it to the book or the lecture, this might look somewhat similar. Does it? Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So what I did before with this blue area was just the step if we wouldn't adjust P0, right? So, and this is now with an adjustment. All right. Next example.
Next is the last one, and it's
Oh, no.
increase in extraction cost.
Oh yeah. This is difficult.
And then I also saw that in one of the exams, he wanted us to draw the decrease in extraction costs, so the opposite process.
Yeah, extraction cost is not easy. The implication behind that are difficult. I try. I don't know if I get it right, if I remember it right. So what we had here before was, I don't know, this user costs in every time, in every period, is equal to the user costs in 0 times e to the power of it. So this is where the interest rate comes up here. And user cost is net cost, right? So it is gross cost minus the constant extraction cost. So what you see if you increase your extraction cost, so this C here becomes greater, then this new PT, oh no, this is, So I think it is just as an direct response is shifted downwards. This would be the first, I think. Is it correct? I don't know.
No, I think you shifted outwards, so up.
Where? One moment. Let me have a look. Increase in extraction cost. New growth. I think it is difficult to do this step by step thing what I did before, because this this increase in extraction costs obviously influences not just our user costs in every point in time, but also okay, I don't think that I will get to the right intuition behind this right now. It is the most difficult example. So what you can tell is, or what I can tell you is that this here, this is like the slope, right? So it becomes steeper.
Yeah.
It becomes steeper. No.
Flatter.
Flatter. As in when those costs increase, extraction costs increase, the curve becomes flatter. And then maybe I can just let me try. Oh, I should have left. I don't know. Maybe I'll write it again. I don't know if this was correct, so maybe I will do it prepared for the next time. So what happens? It becomes flatter. Increase in extraction cost. This becomes flatter. And if we don't adjust our P0 again, then what we will see again is we will end up here. And here. Oh. All the way. And so and now you see this new blue triangle here is greater than the orange one. So this means because the backstop price is reached later, prices are lower because as you see here, prices are lower. Demand is, so at this point here, maybe you can see here, demand, no, oh no, don't. Oh, this is recorded, right? Yeah, but we reach we reach our backstop price later, and so we demand more than there is.
Yeah, there will be no resources to extract at that point anymore.
Yes, yes. And so we adjust, no, may I take green again. We adjust our price and make it higher. So there is less demanded for initially today in P0 in T0, and this new green triangle should be of the same size, and you can hardly see that, as the old orange one.
Yeah.
Is this how it is in the lecture?
Yes, it is exactly like that. And then
All
maybe
right.
another point is that we're talking about gross price. So
Yeah,
you have to indicate
this
it.
is where I didn't get it again. This gross price, net price stuff. I won't get to this now. Maybe I can look at it and then understand it for myself, and then give you an intuition for that. And maybe we could ask the professor if we need it, but because what we did so far, I think in every example so far till this, we were talking about the net price, I think, the user cost.
Yeah.
And now this example is about the gross price.
Yeah.
And this this intuition behind that, this is really, for me, not intuitive, and I think very difficult to get to. And I think we can ask him tomorrow that he yet again explains the difference between the reasoning in the gross price and the reasoning in the net price.
So what
I haven't phrased this question because I didn't think of it till now. And I hope he can do it tomorrow spontaneously without preparation. I mean, he should, because he is asking us to know that, so he should be able to do that. Yeah.
What are the questions we have again? So we have difference between gross price and net price. I would also ask him to explain a little bit more of increasing costs of